Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the new leaked Model Y coming soon, Cybertruck discounts stacking up, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, the Model S and X are basically old at this point. First off, that car hasn't really changed with its overall form factor and design since it was first launched. Of course, Tesla did do a big refresh in 2021 that changed a lot for the interior, changed the display to a horizontal display, widened the stance of that car, and did a few other minor changes. But from the exterior, this car really hasn't changed all that much to the average person. We know that a lot has changed under the surface and with the architecture and battery pack of this car, but many have wanted to see a full Model S refresh, especially now that we've seen a Model 3 and Y refresh. Those cars are now their most up-to-date vehicles after the Cybertruck. So where does that leave Tesla's previous flagship vehicles? Well, we do know those are Tesla's lowest selling vehicles, and Lars Moravy recently confirmed that Tesla will be upgrading these cars sometime later this year. He said they will be getting some love and just to give it some time, and they have no plans to discontinue those vehicles. In any case, there are a lot of rumors as to what Tesla might actually change here. First is one move that might be controversial: the potential removal of the driver's gauge cluster in favor of a larger center screen to align with the Cybertruck's design. The Cybertruck has the largest center screen that Tesla has ever shipped on a vehicle, and it's one single display. So maybe Tesla will go that direction with the Model S and X so that they can standardize their software design. Some people would like this, but I think this would actually be quite a controversial move for many people who are in the market for the Model S and X. They typically like to have that instrument cluster display. Then we of course expect interior cabin ambient lighting that's customizable in RGB, just like we see in the Cybertruck, Model 3, and refreshed Model Y. Then, potentially, Tesla could do some bigger moves here that would take from the Cybertruck. That would include moving to a 48-volt low-voltage architecture, which would enable certain features like steer-by-wire. Steer-by-wire is a really great technology that the Cybertruck has, and it actually recently won an award for its engineering. For something like the Model S and X, it would make the yoke make a lot more sense because you wouldn't have to turn it over your hand, and then it would enable very dynamic steering for things like the Model S Plaid. Then above that, for the high-voltage architecture, could be an 800-volt architecture like they've done with the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck soon, later this year, should be able to charge at special V4 supercharger cabinets at speeds up to 500 kilowatts. That's double what the rest of Tesla's vehicles can do at this point. So maybe they'll bring that technology to the Model S and X. I think in their price point, it would make a lot of sense. Then we might see some modifications to the front and rear fascia, just like they've done with the new Model Y and Model 3. Here's a great render of what we could see there. This one's definitely based on that new Model Y, and I think the render might be a little too similar, but it is a good concept nonetheless and shows us the direction that Tesla could go with this vehicle. In addition, we'll probably see the introduction of a front bumper camera, just like is on the Model Y now, and then the potential removal of the previously included but inactive HD radar. The Model S and X are definitely not Tesla's priority at this point, but in order for them to keep selling those cars in their high price points, we likely need to see a refresh soon. Hopefully we do see one come later this year, and I'm excited to see what Tesla may do. Hopefully they go the direction that they've gone with the Model Y, where it really stands out from previous years and from their other vehicles. Next up today, Tesla is in the process of rolling out the brand new Model Y launch series in the United States and other countries. One difference with other countries, though, is that there are trims available that are not the launch series, whereas in the United States, Tesla is still waiting to discontinue that. Back when the Model 3 came out, all trims were available except the performance trim, and that trim came later. That was because that car included particular upgrades that actually distinguished that car from other trims. You can tell from the outside now which car is which without just simply looking at the wheels or the spoiler. You can tell right up front with the bumper. A lot of people appreciate that Tesla differentiated these cars, and the same is expected to come to the Model Y. In the United States, we're still waiting for the normal rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive Model Y, but then will come the performance model. That's clearly up next for this car, and we've seen Tesla out testing various versions of the Model Y still with covers on. That has been a little bit confusing because we've clearly seen this car out in the wild. We know it has that light bar. We know all the details we expect that car to have up front and in the rear. So what are they hiding in this particular version? Well, some suspect that this could be Tesla out-testing more affordable versions of the Model Y, and maybe it's eliminating some features. But the more likely situation is this is Tesla out-testing with the performance Model Y. And now this has basically been confirmed because the Model Y covered up was officially spotted out in the wild, and it's rocking Tesla's current performance wheels. It has new Pirelli P0E tires that are 275/35 R21, along with red brake calipers, and the same Uber turbine 21-inch wheels as the current performance model that is phasing out. Most likely that's what they're testing these with, but it will come with different 21-inch wheels when it launches to distinguish it from the previous years. As for upgraded features there, we are expecting new seats with bolstered side support, carbon fiber accents throughout the interior, and a front bumper and rear diffuser that distinguishes it from other versions of this car. It will be interesting to see since it's already quite a new design with that light bar in the front and then that glowing light bar in the rear. So we know it's going to keep those things, but what else can they do here to really make it stand out? The new Model Y already kind of has that lower lip that they've included on the performance version of the Model 3, so I'm curious to see what is actually under those covers and what they may do to distinguish that trim from others. On top of those specs though, we do expect a lowered ride height with adaptive suspension, just like the Model 3, and then it will get quicker, likely a 3.2 second 0 to 60. That's at least my personal guess, based on how much quicker the performance Model 3 got. That's definitely an exciting trim for a lot of people, and it's always exciting to see just how quick the world's best-selling car can get. But we'll see how long it takes for Tesla to actually roll out this trim. We're still waiting on the normal rear-wheel drive version and the normally priced all-wheel drive version without upgrades. So it could be quite some time before the performance model comes to be. Either way, Tesla is out testing it, and I'll be sure to keep you posted when we get more details about that and anything else they may be testing. My hope is that soon enough we may see some Teslas that we're a little more unsure about, because they will be working on more affordable models to release within the first half of this year. Those more affordable models are likely the most exciting thing about Tesla coming up this year, but we really have no idea what to expect. Are these new cars based on the Cybercab? Are these new cars based on the Model Y? Will it be just a little bit smaller, just have a little bit less features? Or will it be something entirely new? We do know that Lars Moravy said it will keep most of Tesla's great features and won't feel like a big step down. So we'll have to see. I'm excited to see when those cars come out. But on the complete other side of things, Tesla has the Cybertruck. That is their newest vehicle with all of their latest technology, and it's one of their most expensive cars. That car had a ton of pre-orders, but then once it came out, the price was a lot larger than originally announced. On top of that, it didn't deliver all of the specs that Tesla promised, like a 500+ mile range. When Tesla launched that car, they had the Foundation series that came with about $20,000 worth of upgrades on it, and part of that upcharge was simply because you were getting that special first edition. But Tesla kept making those for quite some time, even as they started rolling out the normally priced version of the Cybertruck, which all-wheel drive starts at $80,000. In any case, they're still trying to sell Cybertrucks, and it seems like going into the end of Q1, they may be having trouble, because they've introduced a new interest rate incentive for the first time on the Cybertruck. For the first time since its launch, Tesla is offering 1.99% APR financing on the Cybertruck for 60 months. They do say that this is only available for a limited time, so I would guess that soon enough they may put a deadline on this for something like the end of March, or at least take delivery by the end of March because they want it within Q1. But this requires a 4% down payment and then finances for 60 months. This is available for any trim of the Cybertruck, so you can get the base model at $80,000, and then you can take $1,000 off of that with somebody's referral link. On top of that, there are various discounts for inventory or demo vehicles, and then that car can also qualify for the federal EV tax credit. So in the right scenario, if you qualify for that, you could get this car pretty cheap. Before any inventory discounts, you could be looking at $71,400 with the federal EV tax credit and the referral link. Then you put some of that down and can finance the rest at only 1.99% APR. On the other side of things though, if you want to upgrade to the Foundation series, those cars are $5,000 off in inventory. The all-wheel drive version is $5,000 off, starting at about $95,000, and then the Cyber Beast Tri-Motor is actually $6,000 off. It's normally $120,000 for that car, and it's coming in at $114,000 in inventory. One great benefit of the Foundation series right now is that it does include free supercharging, and Tesla has now extended this to Canada and Mexico as well. So if you buy a Foundation series Cybertruck in the United States, Canada, or Mexico, you will get free unlimited supercharging with your Cybertruck purchase. And then now in certain markets, you can also be financing that at 1.99%. Basically, the incentives are really stacking up for the Cybertruck, and it shows that Tesla is really needing to get these off of their hands. As for overall demand of the Cybertruck, the rear-wheel drive version should be coming around the corner, but we do know that it's going to be harder for Tesla to be profitable on that version of the car. They previously announced that they were profitable on the Cybertruck, which was big news, especially since they reached it much quicker than any other brand. Actually, they reached it when other brands had never reached profitability on their EV trucks. But at the same time, they announced that right after the Foundation series concluded sales. So most of that data was based on the $100,000 to $120,000 version of the Cybertruck. For the rear-wheel drive version, that's supposed to start at about $61,000. We know it will come with some rumored downgrades like not having a powered tonneau cover and things like that, but overall it may be a lot harder for them to make the rear-wheel drive profitable, which is why we probably haven't seen them produce it so far. In any case, we should be seeing that car come about this year, as it has already received its approval from the EPA, and it has received its approval for the federal EV tax credit. Starting at $61,000, it should get a $1,000 discount, and then a $7,500 tax credit on top of that, and then maybe by the time it comes, that 1.99% APR will be back, but we'll have to see. It's a very interesting time for the Cybertruck, and we'll have to see what the future holds for it. I'm very curious to see what discounts could come next, and could even come within March. Will there be an official price drop for the Cybertruck, or maybe they'll increase the discount that you get with a referral link to something like $2,000 or $2,500? Maybe they'll offer a 0.99% incentive or even 0% APR, and then maybe free charging will expand beyond the Foundation series to normal purchases. Right now, if you buy a Model S all-wheel drive, it's $80,000 and it includes free supercharging for life. So maybe sometime soon Tesla will have to start offering that for the Cybertruck in its normal edition, starting at $80,000 today. I'm very curious to see what all happens here, because the Cybertruck is a very great vehicle, but a lot of people have many perceptions around it and don't really want it right now. Hopefully that rear-wheel drive version comes soon enough, but for right now, Tesla's offering a lot of incentives to drive sales for the end of the quarter. Next up today, Tesla has officially begun Europe deliveries for the refreshed Model Y out of their Giga Berlin factory. They posted a video on their Tesla Europe and Middle East account on X, and this included footage of first deliveries, cars being unveiled for customers, first drives, and then production happening inside the factory. Deliveries at this point of this new refreshed Model Y appear to have occurred out of all of their factories, which is great to see. They said deliveries would start in March, and we're absolutely seeing that at the beginning of March. Things will ramp up from here, and then we'll see all trims available out of all of their factories. What I'm really curious to see is when they reach that point where production is going strong. Where is their demand going to be for this car, and then when will that performance model come? The question of their demand, of course, is because it's a very tumultuous time for Tesla. The whole EV market is in an interesting position, but Tesla is in a particularly interesting position because they're more controversial than ever. But it's very interesting and confusing to see all of this as someone who follows the company closely. On this channel, I've always done my best to report on the latest Tesla news and what is going on with the company itself. As such, Tesla posted a little reminder on X saying, quote, "As a reminder, our mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, cleaner, more livable cities, and a fully renewable economy that benefits all on Earth." Then the graphic here says, "We're building a world powered by solar energy, running on batteries, and transported by electric vehicles." Jose Del Corral at Tesla said, "It's surprising that we need to reiterate this, but the mission hasn't changed. Every single person at Tesla is pouring their heart and soul into building a better future for all. This effort is at the core of what we do, and we remain fully committed to making it a reality." I'm not sure what else Tesla, the company, would be doing at this point, but a good reminder can be seen in their 2023 impact report. Worth noting, we don't have their 2024 impact report yet because these take quite some time for them to put together. In 2023, Tesla reported that customers avoided releasing over 20 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent, and that continues, of course, growing the more cars that they sell. In 2023 as well, they supported the recovery of enough battery materials to produce 43,000 rear-wheel drive Model Ys. That's particularly showing batteries being recycled and their own efforts in that direction. Of course, they're always reducing consumption at all of their factories and driving up efficiency, and the Model Y in particular is the most efficient electric SUV on the road. That's a really big deal when it comes to energy consumption. For their global supercharger network, it was also 100% renewable in 2023, and they achieved that through a combination of on-site resources and annual renewable matching. Then for those batteries, before they ever need to get recycled, they're designed to last 200,000 plus miles of driving, and most Model 3s and Ys lose about 15% of their capacity in 200,000 miles. This isn't quite as good as the Model S and X, which lose about 12% of their capacity. And then of course, their cars have incredible safety. When we look at the Model 3, it has 5 stars from NHTSA, it's an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, it's best in class from Euro NCAP, a top performer from ANCAP, and a top rating from CIASI. The Model Y, on the other hand, is the same in all of these categories, and we know from Euro NCAP it actually received the best score for any vehicle they had ever tested. Now the Cybertruck has officially received its crash test rating, and it's performing so far no different, getting 5 stars overall from NHTSA. On top of that, thanks to its rollover rating, it has the lowest probability of injury of any pickup truck ever tested, electric or ICE. That's passive safety though, once you get in an accident, and before then, Tesla has all of their active safety features to help prevent accidents. So there's always a lot of great stuff going on with Tesla and their products, and what they're actually delivering to customers and enabling customers to do. But one of the latest examples of Tesla and their mission comes with their new Megafactory in Texas. They are building their 3rd Megafactory over in Texas, and the county has said, under the proposed agreement, Tesla will receive tax abatements from Waller County based on property improvements. The deal includes $44 million in facility improvements and $150 million in Tesla manufacturing equipment that Tesla will install. The next phase involves a new $31 million distribution facility, with about $2 million in Tesla distribution equipment and building upgrades. This will expand their United States Megapack production beyond just their Lathrop, California factory. So this is, again, their 3rd Megafactory after Lathrop and China. Typically, these are set up to make about 40 gigawatt hours of Megapacks per year, so it's a very big deal. Megapacks are a big part of Tesla's energy business, and their energy business has actually been one of their fastest growing businesses. So it will be exciting to see everything that gets enabled by this. This is not something you would buy. This is a grid-level product, particularly for energy suppliers, but it can really help balance out the grid. But on the other side of things is something that people may not consider when it comes to what a Tesla can enable, and that's actually saving time. For those that can charge at home, Tech Operator did the math, and they said, according to the Gas Station Trade Group, it takes an average of 4.5 minutes to fill up and pay for a tank of gas. Assuming 1 tank per week over 3 years of ownership, that's 11.7 hours saved simply by owning a Tesla EV with home charging. Now, of course, this leaves out supercharging if you're doing that all of the time, so this doesn't apply across the board to everyone. But if you're like me and you charge at home the majority of the time, you're saving a lot of time day to day. Tesla added to this fully charged car every morning, and home charging is significantly cheaper than gas too. This has definitely been my experience, and it's hard to explain to people since charging can take 8 hours or so overnight at my house, but it happens while I'm asleep, so I do not experience that time whatsoever. Again, not everyone is in that situation, and they may not experience time savings, but for a lot of people who drive Teslas, it actually saves them a lot of time. And this is also something that applies to any EV that you can charge at home. Teslas definitely come with these benefits, but so do other electric vehicles, and now those other electric vehicles are also able to charge at Tesla's supercharger network. Speaking of other electric cars, if you want to see a full breakdown of all the latest news for all electric car companies other than Tesla, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below on my second channel called And More. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the latest Model 3 discounts available, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.